Welcome to another edition of the News Review. My name is Vina Peters. Now, over the week, we've had reoccurring headlines on our news, and two actually came in mind for us to actually analyze for this week. Now, one of it was the Provost of Corona College of Education when he was urging graduating students to be entrepreneurs. Now, another one from the technical education, it says that it is the lifeline for sustainable national development. Now, with me in the studio is the Director of Entrepreneurship, Skills and Development Center. Now, he is going to talk about entrepreneurship, he's going to talk about technical education and the difference that is if there is a difference. He is no other person than Professor Sunday at DPC. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
So quickly, entrepreneurship, technical skills, technical education, what is it all about?
All right. Maybe I will try to do a bit of clarification between the two so that it can be well understood. That's why you see that center is entrepreneurship and skill development center. There is the difference between, the entrepreneurship, and the skills, development. At times people, call it skills acquisition. There's the skill acquisition, which at times you can even, have that without going to school. That's, carpentry, wedding. So many of them, didn't really, go to school. Maybe some of them didn't do more than primary 6, they were able to acquire the skill. But you discover that most of them at times, their human relation, their soft skills cannot be found. That is why you still have your mechanic, removing so many things from your cars and say, oh, the white man just put it there, it doesn't, really matter. Those guys are stuck, skill acquirers who never really understood, that there are some soft skills, aspect of it where they need to be entrepreneurially minded in terms of whatever they do. So entrepreneurship most of the time is about your mindset. It's about you being able to understand how to create value, how to almost everything. It's about you being able to know how to take risk, and you're ready to take the risk. It's about you at every point in time believing that, look, in the society, there are things I can do that people will see valuable, and I can solve the problem of the society, and I'm solving the problem of the society profitably. So you must understand all this network of mindset and knowledge. Then you take it into whatever you can now do with your technical skills. So when what I've mentioned is absent, you are just a stuck skill acquirer who probably just have the skill, does not even know how you can use the skill to even make money. There are a lot of people outside, they're very good mechanic, good plumbers, good, name all the skills, and they live in abject poverty because they do not have the mindset of entrepreneurship. So most of the time, we always try to differentiate between these two because you see people thinking that skill acquisition is entrepreneurship. No. Everyone can acquire technical skill either through your education, even, if you're in engineering, you may acquire technical skill in engineering. You may not necessarily have the entrepreneurial mindset and kind of skill that can make you to convert your technical skill into profitable business venture. So that's what I'm trying to clarify. Otherwise, everybody that has technical skill ought to have become people that can deliver value. Not all people that have technical skills have the wherewithal to do what, to convert them into valuable skill that people can request for, pay for, and they can earn money. So, but you discover that when you have the entrepreneurial mindset, it is possible for you and easy to spot even skills that are needed in the society. Skills that you believe you need to acquire because you have entrepreneurial mindset that is convertible to profitable business venture. So when you have the entrepreneurship mindset first, it gives you an opportunity to turn anything into a valuable commercial entity that you can take to the market and be able to take the advantage of the market. So this is very, very important at every point in time. That is why in University of Lagos, we do say that it is not skill acquisition that that we take our students through. What we take them through is what we call entrepreneurial mindset change. So that for every course you do, it is possible for you to see the value in those courses. And at the end of the day, you can think about the solution that your discipline can offer to the society. And thinking about those solutions, you can now support them with the risk-taking ability of an entrepreneur, resilience of an entrepreneur, passion of an entrepreneur, value creation of an entrepreneur, so that at the end of the day, you can now turn this skill, whether in your discipline set, either as a biochemist or as a chemist or as even educationist, or as an economist, or a talent that you have actually found useful, and you want to support the knowledge of entrepreneurship, with that talent, so that you cannot take talent, into high heavens. So if you understand this, you know that just having skills, having technical skill, because my father does this or I learned this, does not necessarily make you an entrepreneur. So you must have those characteristics and traits that I've talked about, and there must be a passion that is driving you, and the passion of creating value, and the passion of the fact that this value you're creating to is equally solving a problem. Because when you do not present solutions as an entrepreneur, you can never enjoy longevity. Because you don't just want to come. Entrepreneurship is like a child that is giving birth to. The moment the mother gave birth to that child, he wants the child to become what? To become an adult, the child to grow old, and the child to do what? To do well. That's what an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship is. So if you must be able to achieve that, it is important that you must understand all the traits and the qualities of who an entrepreneur is. So that is the first dichotomy I would like to create between, technical skills and entrepreneurial skills.
Okay. Okay, so quickly, we had an interview earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, now this man is a baker.
Yeah.
He's at the University of Lagos. We interviewed him, so I actually want you to actually watch that video.
Okay.
All right, so let's go see the interview. We'll be right back.
Good morning.
Please introduce yourself.
Ogele Amos Solilaya is my name, and I'm from Ekiti State. Though here is University of Lagos. I am a banking and finance graduate of Ondo State University, and after that, I have been to Unilag for a Masters of Education in Manpower Training and Development. And here I am today, an entrepreneur, so to speak. It is always good for us to see the environment we grow up in and always quickly discover what we can do as our own contribution to economic development and growth. Before I went for my first degree, I've worked in a fast food where I was trained as a baker. And then I went for a degree in banking and finance. All through the 4 years, I had it at the back of my mind that I had interest in the baking. I left for the degree. So if I had the opportunity, I would love to go back to the baking after my schooling. And then a few years after the first degree, I started thinking seriously about going back to baking. And I really thank God I was able to summon courage to go back into it. And for 6 years now, I've been in baking, and I'm doing very, very well. I wish I never had to think about what COVID-19 and ASU strike have done to my business over the years. But, well, if we must talk about that, ASU strike started, I think, before COVID-19. Briefly, then COVID-19 came, the entire system was shut down. After it was a little bit opened, Unilag, our business space, was still shut down because of the ASU strike. Throughout all of that, I was not making money, but I was spending money. And that continued for almost a year. And you can imagine what that means to a business when expenses has to be met and then no return coming in. So it was not an experience that I would like to have again. even though at the moment there's still a little strike here and there, but not as bad as COVID in conjunction with ASU strike in 2020/2021. It was a very, very bad experience. My plan for the future, I want to, like I said, that after having picked a degree in banking and finance, deliberately I wanted a course that could help the baking I'm doing, and that's the more reason I went for a master's degree in manpower training and development. I intend to have a very good place set up like a school where I can train young Nigerian youths about how to bake, like a technical school where I will also have other uh, skill people coming around, like fashion, like woodwork, you know, so that we can train Nigerian youths in order for us to help them to develop skill sets that can be useful for them, so that they can be less dependent on whatever anybody wants to offer them in terms of job that is not readily available.
All right, so Professor DPC, you heard that interview.
Yeah.
So, would you say that guy is an entrepreneur?
All right, thank you very much. I love this interview. So it's going to let you understand the dichotomy I've created here this evening. Yeah, this guy is an entrepreneur. Don't know why. He has passion.
Okay.
So the first thing they brought him back to the business he knew before going to school was passion. He was passionate about this, baking business. Before he went to school, he was still thinking about, this business, and having gone to school, he studied banking and finance. Probably, that's what we call the pull and push factor.
Okay.
Probably after the banking and finance, there was no good job, good paying job. You understand that, he could grab. He remembered his passion in baking, and he went into it. So it's an entrepreneur because the first thing that defines an entrepreneur is passion. If you do not have passion, because you're going to go through very serious rough roads. If you're going to abandon whatever the business interest or business idea is, you're not an entrepreneur. So there's difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur. This may not, this or there may not be an opportunity, to define that for you. But it's an entrepreneur by that. But again, it's not an innovator. So if he's watching us, I want him to listen to this very carefully. Okay. He's not an innovator. Fine, entrepreneurship is not the way it was, so it is, and so it will be. I found out that, his baking is still what you find around. There's nothing innovative about it. And I want to clearly point out something to him, that, COVID was not supposed to shut him down. COVID was supposed to give him mindset of innovation during that period. And probably an entrepreneur will equally be extremely passionate about his customers. If he has had even if he's not using computer now, I would have been expecting him anyway to have innovated in such a way that he has a database. If it's that he was following up his customers based on his passion in baking, during COVID, all he needed to do was to pull the data of his customer. And the text message to the customer will be, during this lockdown, how are you doing? I hope you are keeping safe. We are still ensuring that we keep your taste alive. Our baking taste, which is your taste. If you don't mind, we will deliver to you. We can get it across to you. And that will have been an opportunity for him to start an online business. That's innovation.
Okay, hold on now. If he was supplying companies, because we all know companies had to shut down and go home, so should he still reach out to those companies?
It's not company. I'm talking about individuals.
Let's say most of his customers were supplying to companies, so
it's a Unilag.
Yeah.
So I can tell you without thinking who his customer base is. 75% of his customer base will be the students, will be the people around, that live around the campus. Probably the remaining 25% will be staff, and some other people. If he has actually innovated his taste in such a way that let me digress a little bit.
Okay.
at any point in time, we encourage any of our students to do this kind of uh, um, a business. Do you know why I use the word this kind of a business? Because this is a business that you can find anywhere.
Exactly.
So you must innovate with it.
Okay.
You must do it in so much a different way that at the end of the day, it looks as if you're doing something that is extraordinary. There's somebody in this university, I mean, let me give him the benefit of doubt so that, you know, it may look like promotion. When you talk about Shane barbecue, Shane, you know, spaghetti, you see that the boy has turned it. It's this ordinary spaghetti that anybody eats. He started it in the university and turned it around in a way and manner that he innovated it with all manner of things, all manner of vegetable, all manner of, you know, spices, all manner of things, and people begin to queue for the ordinary spaghetti that you find any other woman doing. But you know, when you pick his own spaghetti today, you do it with 1,200 naira. And we go to Malam, you eat the same spaghetti for 200 naira. People queue in front of the 1,200 naira spaghetti and leave the one that is 200 naira, you know, outside there.
Taste.
And taste, innovation, packaging. So, and that is the entrepreneurship I was trying to discuss apart from technical skill.
Yeah.
You may be the best of a baker.
Exactly.
If you do not understand, you know, how to push your product to the market, the soft skill, the entrepreneurial soft skill that is needed for you to push forward, you may not really be able to do it. But I will call him an entrepreneur because passion is the number one characteristic and trait of an entrepreneur. Because why? At the end of the day, you're going to move through the rough road. And if you don't have passion, you will drop by the roadside. When you listen to the story of Dangote, you will know that Dangote, if Dangote had several reasons to have dropped by the roadside. If you do not know, so many people do not know, Dangote sold all these food products with, you know, all these things they used to mail, you know, all the can, all of those things. That is where it started from. We went through all its up and downs. Look at him today, the richest man in Africa. Passion. Passion. He went as far as even taking loan from his brother, Dantata, 500,000 then, and started paying back. Passion. So at that point in time, I could not have gone ahead to take the loan. Okay, this one now that my brother has money, he cannot give it to me. If he cannot give it to me, I'm not doing it again. Let me go and look for a job. Passion. So he is an entrepreneur because he has passion. That makes me to say he's an entrepreneur. But again, an entrepreneur that does not innovate will die. That was why Facebook started killing itself. And Facebook, you know, Mark Zuckerberg said, if I do not kill Facebook, something will kill it. Do you understand? So you must constantly innovate. And that is my advice for him if he's watching us. He needs to innovate with this baking business. It's good that he wants to think about, you know, going into training other people. If you just bring people together to train them how to fry, they don't need to come to your school because, you know, they can watch their mommy fry and, you know, and they can get it without coming to your school. But what are the things you want to do with cake? I have several of my students have moved through us that are doing amazing things. Amazing things. Looking at you, you know, blending of color, looking at you, even, you know, molding a beautiful clothes that you wore one time, using that to make a cake for you. Doing amazing thing. You know, they look crazy, but it's innovative and people pay extra money
for innovation.
So that's what I would say, you know, with what I found with him.
As the director of Entrepreneurship Skill Development Center in the University of Lagos, now, what is the University of Lagos doing to equip its students for entrepreneurship?
You know, I mean, if you're following us, we've done a whole lot of things, and I will just pick one of our programs, which is Bite, where we have called everybody in this university to come and bite. And Bite is business, innovation, and talent expression. Business, innovation, and talent expression. And what Bite is saying that bring out any idea that has business orientation, that is bankable. Even if you don't even understand how the idea still looks, bring up the idea. We'll help you flesh up that idea. We support you through the incubation. You know, we have an incubation center, and we even fund some of them. Just 3 days ago, we gave kudos to our sponsor that is Oladele Faja Birokun Foundation. we gave one of them that won the BITE program, I think 1.3 million naira. 1.3 million naira. It won 2 million. So it got 1.3 million naira now, to upscale the business. It started with, got 600,000. And I think the lady doing, bag, amazing bag that you find. If you find the bag inside shop, they put goosey on it, you think it is goosey. So we've taken her through how to innovate with several things, and we seed fund them too. So what we're doing in this university is that when you're coming into university, in University of Lagos, we want your parents to know that University of Lagos has two basic capability. You're coming to read chemical engineering. University of Lagos is very sound in chemical engineering. For example, you're coming to University of First Trust and the nation's pride. And secondly, your son or your daughter will be able to convert that chemical engineering into chemipreneurship.
Okay.
So that is to say, you're having two dual capabilities.
Exactly.
Entrepreneurial capabilities and whatever you come to study capability. So that is why you see now changing our courses today into entrepreneurship. We say even when you're doing Yoruba, we call it Yorupreneur. If you're doing engineering, enginepreneur. If you're doing artpreneur, edupreneur, you understand, ecopreneur. That's economy. That is to say, yes, we will support you to have full capabilities in that your course of study. But then, if you do not have the capability of converting that, choice course of study into profitable business study, you've not attended University of Lagos. So that is the kind of thing we're doing today, and it's first of its kind. And our BITE program is delivering it. And again, that's what we call AIBIC, Entrepreneurship Incubation and Business Certification Program, which now mandate every undergraduate in this university to take entrepreneurship program end to end before they leave, and must be able to create a business before leaving. And now BOI is signing 200 million naira with us in the university, because we've done it to the extent that BOI has seen that, and they're giving us 200 million naira now to give to our students. As many of you that you have ideas, you have opportunity of accessing 2 million naira at any point in time. And once you access the 2 million naira, you turn it around and you're able to pay back. You have an additional 5 million naira. If you're able to do that, you have additional 10 million. Even when you leave the university, we'll continue to support you. So that's one of the things we've created as the University of Lagos, because we are a city university and we sit at the economic hub of Nigeria and Africa. And we want to turn everybody that goes to this university into becoming successful entrepreneur.
All right, thank you very much, Sam. Sorry, that's all we can take on the
Yeah.
show today. I would love to have you talk about everything and explain everything to our viewers, but our time is cut short.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so that's all we can take on the show today. So we'll see you same time, same station next week. Until then, my name remains Vina Peters. See you next week.